Hello students. Today we discuss a new article and name of this article is superposition of views. Superposition of views. Okay. Now we know that when two or more waves traveling through the same medium and interfere or arrive at the same point, at that time these two waves interfere with each other. Now this interference is nothing but it is the superposition of these two waves, right? Now we have to study this principle. Therefore, this principle is known as a principle of superposition of waves, right? Now, how we define this principle, right? Now we define simply this principle of superposition of waves, right? Now in this principle, when two or more waves of the same type, two or more waves of the same type interfere at the same point, interfere at the same point. Now at that point, each wave produces its own displacement. It produces its own displacement at that point. Okay. Now the resultant displacement at that point, the resultant displacement at that point is equal to the vector sum of the displacements. Vector sum of the displacements due to each individual wave, right? Now, this is known as the principle of superposition of wave, right? Now, this is the principle of superposition of waves, right? Now at that time in simple we consider here, suppose this is the first wave. Now whose displacement of this first wave is suppose y1. This wave is traveling. At the same time another wave is also traveling whose displacement is y2. Now these two waves are traveling through the same medium and these two waves arrive at this point, same point, right? When these two waves arrive at the same point or interfere with each other at the same point, at that time their resultant displacement is suppose y. Their resultant displacement is suppose y. Therefore, when y1 is the displacement of first particle, first wave, y2 is the displacement of second wave, and when these two waves interfere or superimpose with each other at the same point, at that time it gives us the resultant displacement, and this resultant displacement is nothing but it is the vector sum of these two waves. Now at that time we consider vector sum of these two displacement is y, and y is the resultant displacement of y1 and y2. It is the vector sum. Therefore y is always equal to y1 plus y2, right? But when it happens when these two are added with each other, now when two waves are traveling through the same medium, but when we consider these two waves, when these two waves interfere with each other, at that time when these two waves interfere, at that time we have to consider these two waves are in phase or out of phase. We have to consider these 2 points, right? When two waves are traveling through the same medium and these two waves are interfering with each other or cross with each other at the same point, but when at that crossing point, when two waves are in phase, when two waves are in phase, at that time their resultant displacement y is always equal to y1 plus y2, y1 plus y2. But at the same time, when these two waves are not in phase, means when these two waves are out of phase, when these two waves are out of phase, at that time the displacement is written as y equal to y1 minus y2, right? Means y1 plus y2 is possible when the two waves are in phase, and y1 minus y2 is possible when two waves are out of phase, right? In this way, this resultant of these two wave, resultant displacement of these two wave depends upon when two waves are in phase or out of phase, right? In this way, this principle is known as a principle of superposition of wave, right? Now, in this way, we state this principle and we explain this principle. Now, according to this principle, now we consider here y1 is the displacement of first wave, y2 is the displacement of second wave. These two waves travel through the same medium and arrive at the same point. They interfere with at this point. At that time, this is the resultant displacement, and this resultant displacement is the vector sum of each individual wave, means y is equal to y1 plus y2. Okay, this is the principle of superposition of wave. Okay, now in this case, again by using this principle of superposition of waves, again we have to find out the amplitude. First we find out the equation of resultant wave, right? Then we find out equation of amplitude of resultant wave one by one, right? Now therefore we consider two waves, traveling through the same medium. Two waves traveling through the same medium. Two waves traveling through the same medium. Having same frequency. But slightly different amplitudes. Now these two amplitudes are different. Now A1 is the amplitude of first wave and A2 is the amplitude of second wave, right? Now in this case we consider two waves traveling through the same medium having same frequency. What? Frequency of both the waves is the same, but slightly different amplitudes. Now A1 is the amplitude of first wave and A2 is the amplitude of second wave, right? Now again at that time when we consider two waves, at that time there is phase difference between two waves. Now we consider here, let phi is the phase difference. Between them, right? Now when A1 is the amplitude of first wave, A2 is the amplitude of second wave, and when we consider two waves, at that time two waves whose phase difference between them is phi, right? Now we have to find out the equation of the resultant wave. Now we draw here. Now suppose this is the origin O. At origin, suppose the point, this wave, first wave starts from this point. At this point, the phase difference phi is always zero. Right? Now, at this point, the position of that wave is particle is x equal to 0. And now this wave is starting from this point, and this wave is traveling in this direction, and it reach to this point, right? Now in this way this wave is traveling and this wave reaches at this point. Okay, now when this wave is traveling, at that time this wave has some amplitude. Now suppose we consider A1 is the amplitude of first wave. At that time this first wave has some displacement. Therefore, we consider y1 is the displacement of first wave, and as x equal to 0 and when phi is 0 means the phase difference for the first wave is 0, at that time this y1 is always equal to amplitude A1 sine omega t, right? In this way, we write down the equation of first wave. Now, the equation of first wave is y1 is the displacement for the first wave, which is always equal to a1 sine omega t. This way, this wave is traveling from left hand side towards the right hand side, and it come or cross at this point. It reaches to this point, right? But at the same time, another wave is traveling from this point. Now, at that time, suppose this another wave is traveling, and this wave again traveling in this way, and this wave is reaches or arrive or interfere at the same point. These two waves interfere at the same point, right? Now this second wave is at some phase difference phi from this origin. It is at phase difference phi from this origin, right? At that time, amplitude of this second wave is A2. Amplitude of second wave is A2, and at that time, displacement for second wave is Y2. Therefore, this Y2 is equal to A2 sine. Now, at that time, the phase difference is phi. Therefore, this phase difference is added in this omega t. Therefore, the displacement for second wave y2 is equal to a2 sine omega t plus phi. Okay. In this way, we consider two waves. First wave, which is travel from left to the right, having its amplitude a1 and phase difference phi as 0. At that time, its displacement is y1, and y1 is equal to a1 sine omega t. At the same point, at the same time, now another second wave is traveling in this direction, having its amplitude A2 and its displacement is suppose Y2. Now at that time its phase difference is phi, right? Therefore, the displacement for the second wave Y2 is equal to A2 sine in bracket omega t plus phi. In this way, displacement for two different waves are known to you. For the first wave, we consider y1. For the second wave, we consider y2. Therefore, we write here, let y1 is displacement of first wave, y2 is displacement of second wave, okay? And what is y? Y is the resultant displacement, y is the resultant displacement of wave. Y is the resultant displacement of two waves. We consider here resultant displacement of two waves. Okay. Now we consider y1 is the displacement of first wave, y2 is the displacement of second wave, and y is the resultant displacement of two waves. Right. Now the displacement due to first wave is y1, it is known to you. Displacement for the second wave is known to you. Now we have to find out value of y. We find out value of y. Now we know that according to this principle of superposition of wave, the resultant displacement y is always equal to y1 plus y2. It is y1 plus y2. Now we write here. Now, therefore we find out y is equal to y1 plus y2. Y is equal to y1 plus y2, right? Therefore, y as it is, substitute value of y1. y1 is a1 sine omega t and y2 is plus a2 sine omega t plus phi. A2 sine omega t plus phi. Okay. In this way, we find out resultant displacement, and this resultant displacement y is equal to a1 sine omega t plus a2 sine omega t plus phi. Right. Now, when we are to solve this, we have to consider here two types of identity. First identity is we have to find out the square of this bracket. Now it is a square plus 2ab plus b square. We have to use this identity. At the same time, again we have to use this identity. Sin c plus d is equal to sin c into cos d plus cos c into sin d. Right? Now use this identity. Sin of c plus d is always equal to sin of c into cos d plus cos c into sin d. Now using this identity, now we apply this identity in this case. Now at that time it becomes a1 sin omega t as it is plus. Now use this identity. a2 sin of first omega t, sin of c into cos d. Therefore sin of omega t into cos of phi. Right? Plus a2 into cos omega t sin phi, right? Now we use this identity. Sine of C plus D is always equal to sine of C into cos D plus cos of C into sine of D. Using this identity, now we solve this. Okay. Now, again between these two terms, we consider sine omega t and sine omega t as a common factor. Take it outside. Now, what is the remaining? Remaining is a1 plus a2 cos of phi. a1 plus a2 cos of phi. And what is the common factor? Sine of omega t is taken as a common factor. Okay. Plus a2 cos of omega t. Now we write here sine of phi into cos of omega t. Okay. Now, therefore, we find out y is equal to, in bracket, a1 plus a2 cos of phi, bracket close, sine omega t plus a2 sine phi into cos of omega t. Right? Now, again, for this term, now we consider it is as cos theta. a1 plus a2 cos of phi is taken as a cos theta, and this a2 sine of phi, a2 sine of phi is taken as a sine theta. Okay. Now, what is taken? a1 plus a2 cos of phi is taken as a cos theta, and a2 sine of phi is taken as a sine theta. Therefore, we write here, let a1 plus a2 cos of phi is equal to a cos theta. Suppose this is equation 1. Okay. At the same time, a2 sine of phi is equal to a sine theta. It is equation 2. Right? Now, in this way we write here, a1 plus a2 cos of phi is always equal to a cos theta, and a2 sine of phi is equal to a sine theta. Now substitute this value instead of this, we write here a cos theta. Therefore, this equation becomes y is equal to a cos theta sine of omega t as it is, plus, instead of this a2 sine phi, we write here a sine theta. Therefore, a sine theta into cos of omega t. Right? Now we substitute instead of this as a cos theta, and instead of this we write here a sine theta. Finally, we get y equal to a cos theta sine of omega t plus a sine theta cos of omega t. Now we write here, rearrange this term. Therefore, a as it is, and now take a as a common factor. A as a common factor, take it outside. Remaining sine omega t cos theta plus cos omega t sine theta. Now right here, y is equal to a in bracket sine omega t cos theta plus cos omega t sine theta. Right? Now again we know that using this identity, sine of c plus d is equal to sine c into cos d plus cos c into sine d. Now using this identity, now same way, now instead of this we write here sine of c plus d, and c is nothing but it is omega t, and d is nothing but it is theta. Therefore, y is equal to a in bracket a sine in bracket omega t plus theta. Therefore, we find out y, and y is equal to a sine in bracket omega t plus theta. What is y? Y is the resultant displacement of wave. Y is resultant displacements of wave. Therefore, in this way, we find out the equation for resultant displacement of two wave, and this y is equal to a sine in bracket omega t plus theta. This is known as a equation of resultant equation of two waves. Okay. Again, now we know that a1 plus a2 cos of phi is equal to a cos theta. It is taken as equation 1. And a2 sine of phi equal to a sine theta is taken as equation 2, right? Now we have to find out the equation of amplitude of a resultant wave, right? Now to find out this amplitude, now we consider these two equations, equation 1 and 2, right? Now squaring and adding equation 1 and 2, squaring and adding, now right here, squaring and adding, squaring and adding equation 1 and 2 we get. Now square and add equation 1 and 2 we get. Now equation 1. Now right hand side of equation 1 is a cos theta. It is written as a square cos square theta. It is added with this a square sin square theta, means this side, square of this side is added with square of this side, right? Is equal to, now square of this side, a1 plus a2, a1 plus a2 cos of phi, cos of a1 plus a2 cos of phi bracket square, it's square, plus this term a2 sin of phi bracket square, right? Now we use this. Again from these two, a square is a common factor. Take it outside. Therefore we write here a square as a common factor and remaining sin square theta plus cos square theta is the remaining. Okay. Now on the right hand side, now square of this bracket. Now a plus b bracket square, a plus b bracket square means it is a square. A square means a1 square plus 2 times of first term a1 into second term a2 cos of phi, 2 times of ab plus b square. What is b? B is this. Now a2 square cos square phi, a2 square cos square phi plus, again square of this bracket. Now it is a2 square and sin square phi, a2 square and sin square phi. Okay. Now squaring these two terms, we find out this. Now we know that there is one identity, sin square theta plus cos square theta is always equal to 1. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is always equal to 1. Therefore instead of this we write here 1. Therefore left hand side becomes a square, and a square is equal to, what is remaining on the right hand side, a1 square plus 2 times of a1 a2, 2 times of a1 a2 cos of phi, cos of phi. Now from these two terms, now a1 a2 square is a common factor, take it outside. Therefore plus a2 square is taken as a common factor, and what is remaining, sin square theta plus cos square theta, sin square theta plus cos square theta. Again this sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. Therefore finally a square equal to a1 square plus twice a1 a2 cos of phi plus a2 square, right? In this way we find out a1 square equal to a square equal to a1 square plus twice a1 a2 cos of phi plus a2 square. Now this is the expression for a square. Now we have to find out the value of a. Therefore taking value of square root of this a square as a and taking square root this, we find out under root a1 square plus 2a1 a2 cos of phi plus a2 square, right? Now in this way we find out another expression, and this expression is for a. And what is a? Now we know that a1 is the amplitude of first wave, a2 is the amplitude of second wave. Therefore when we find out the resultant amplitude of these two waves, at that time a is the resultant amplitude of these two waves. Therefore we find out the equation of resultant amplitude of two waves, which is a is equal to under root a1 square plus twice a1 a2 cos of phi plus a2 square, right? In this way, we obtain two equations for superposition of waves. First equation for the resultant displacement of waves, which is y equal to a sine in bracket omega t plus theta. And second equation is for amplitude. The resultant amplitude of two waves is a equal to under root a1 square plus 2 times of a1 a2 cos of phi plus a2 square, right? In this way, all of you are well familiar with these two equations, right?